This is one of those messages that if your flesh at any time of this message gets upset, you feel a bit of rage, anger, you feel affected by it, insulted by it. If this message cuts you, if this message convicts you in any way, shape, or form, then it's a clear indication that this is the message that you needed to hear. Now, most of my messages that I talk about, either I've been through situations like it, I know what I'm talking about it, and I've experienced it firsthand. In this particular subject, brothers and sisters, I've never talked about, but I want to talk about it today because through the grace of God, through a decision that I've made in my life, and through the demonic spirit that has been taking residency in my life for years and years, I want to come clean to the fact that I, by the grace of God, am no longer bound or oppressed or possessed, whatever you want to call it, by this demon. And I believe if we understand as children of God the underbelly or the underlying reasoning or the spiritual ramifications behind why we do what we do and how these things came about, we can strategically make better choices, and we can strategically defeat the demons in our members that are trying to ultimately obliterate and annihilate us. This message was not intended to insult you. This message was intended to provoke you, provoke your spirit, provoke your mind to think higher, okay? And a lot of people have these ways of talking about this subject in an insulting way. And I believe that the enemy wants people to feel insulted or depressed or this and that. No. Let's just get to know yourself just a little bit deeper, okay? What am I talking about? What is this subject all about? Well, I'm going to be clear. And I believe a lot of the things that I've gone through in my lifetime was due to this demon. And the demon that I'm talking about, that I'm no longer bound by, thank God, is the spirit or the demon of gluttony. And for years and years, this demonic spirit literally has been trying to covertly kill me, okay? And I made a decision to make different choices in my life and to look at things a little bit differently, more so on a spiritual level. And I began to discover that it was less about food and more about the symptoms behind what was going on at the time, and dealing or not dealing with the symptoms that propelled me to overeat. Okay. Now, again, I've adapted a healthier lifestyle. I believe that exercise has been blessing me in my life. I see the results of weight loss in my life. So my whole mindset and relationship with food is totally different. And again, I can come with this video because I no longer am addicted to sugars. I'm no longer addicted to sugary snacks. I'm no longer addicted to pastas and breads and things that literally try to seduce me and enslave me to the spirit of gluttony. Now, I want to just try to encompass everything in this video. And again, if you feel in any way that I'm stepping on your toes, if you feel, uncomfortable, it's a very good thing. It means that God is literally working in you. And on my channel, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, there's topics that a lot of people don't want to hear. But truth be told, brothers and sisters, if you don't want to talk about the hard topics, if you don't want to talk about things that people kind of brush away, that's 99% of why a lot of people are sick, spiritually and emotionally sick, mentally, physically sick. There's a lot of people that are in graves right now, that a lot of people that are going to hell. So I want to be different. And God has given me this platform to share my experiences, but more so allow people to get healed and delivered and set free. So if it means me talking about my own situations or things that God has delivered me from and ways that you can get set free, well, praise God. Let's get started on this message. I noticed that in a lot of the churches, okay, blood bought, sold out for Christ type churches, there's a spirit of gluttony that has been plaguing churches worldwide. And I say to myself, God is the deliverer. He's the healer. Why isn't more pastors or preachers talking about this very subject? And I believe one of the reasons is because if you have so many people giving money and patronizing a business, a 501c, did I say it right? Business or corporation, okay? Whatever you want to call it. And you have a pastor talking about a very necessary subject in terms of idling food, gluttony, because it is a form of idol worship. Gluttony is idol worship, brothers and sisters. And if you don't want to believe me, then why is it that you treat food as your God, your comforter, your pleasure, your source of peace, your friend, your joy, your pacifier, your refuge, your go-to in the midnight hour, your habitual lover, your fix, your pain reliever, your mind regulator? Some people use food as people pleasers. I'll buy you this, I'll buy you that, I'll make you this, I'll make you that, I'll make you your favorites, just love me, whatever it takes. And psychologically, we're brought up a lot of ways to believe that just by food we're made brand new. But I tell you what, your food is supposed to be your medicine, brothers and sisters. It's supposed to be your medicine for your body. And we have used food as a form of stimuli, pleasure. You depressed? Eat it up. You broke up with somebody? Go dig your face in some ice cream, or whatever the case is. You just lost your job? Go to some all-you-can-eat shop and just go for it. Why do you think there's so many people on this new mukbang or mukbang, whatever you want to call it, trip? You watch videos of people gorging large amounts of food, and you love it. You like it. It's a new form of entertainment. Brothers and sisters, what have we become? Brothers and sisters, I think about how this is affecting our society. I think about how this is affecting the spiritual realm. I think about how Satan is strategically, for years and years and years, he's been looking for the vices of what we like. If it's sex, he wants it amplified on steroids. If it's food, he wants you to go full throttle. There's no healthy zone when it comes to Satan. There's no healthy balancing act. It's always excessive, full throttle. You want to get a tattoo, he wants you to get about 10 or 20. You get a facelift, he wants you to get about a nip tuck, this and that done. It's a insatiable lust that's never fulfilled. And I believe, and I know for a fact, there's a lot of ingredients in food that has subsequently allowed us to be enslaved. So what do? We find out what the root cause and problem in Genesis behind how we decided to make this an idol in our lives from the very beginning. Whether it be a rape, whether it be someone verbally cursing you or using word curses to put you down in your life. You'll never be nothing. You're just like your father. Things like you're fat, you're ugly, things like you'll never make it. Those scars, brothers and sisters, somehow open the door to be self-pleasured. Are you a gossiper? Sometimes the spirit of gossip opens that door. Lying, you're a liar. See, other demonic spirits, okay, like spirit gangs, attribute to the spirit of gluttony as well. See, the spirit of gluttony doesn't work alone, and a lot of demonic spirits usually don't. They usually have groupings or gangs of demons that work in conjunction with them. And this spirit of gluttony, brothers and sisters, is a very strong and very powerful demonic spirit. And it's only when you look at yourself face to face and realize that it is bigger than you, that this is a spiritual ramification behind what you do. Okay? If you look at things on a spiritual standpoint and realize, brothers and sisters, that it doesn't necessarily have to be with food. It can be other idols in your life. It just so happens that food was your vice. Notice I said was your vice. That Satan has tried to manipulate your mind with. Your mother is obese. Your father's father in all generations is obese. But don't you know, brothers and sisters, that through the power of Jesus Christ and you having a made up mind to make healthier decisions, healthier habits, and understanding the science behind. I had to literally understand, brothers and sisters, the science behind food. I had to understand if you mix this with that. It's very, how can I say, complex. The way some diets, if you will, or healthier lifestyle choices work for some, and then some they don't work for. In other words, if you have an obese person, right? They exercise, they diet, they do this and do that, but they don't see the results. A lot of the reasons why, okay, is because there's certain things that they're eliminating out of their diet that they shouldn't, and there's certain things that they should eliminate out of their diet. It's a time of day that you should eat. It's really, it's kind of like scientific, the way you need to approach your new healthier lifestyle. How is your water intake? Are you drinking enough water? Huh? Are you making good eliminations? Are you, cutting down excessive fruit? Because believe it or not, people think that fruit, you could just hog on fruit and that's enough. Well, a lot of fruits have a lot of sugar in it, depending on how much you eat. And that sugar, and you have to understand what glucose is. You have to understand what insulin is. You have to understand the metabolic history of, weight and fat and things of that nature. So you have to, like I said, it's just not, I'm going to cut out cookies and that's it, and just starve myself during the day. No. You have to be strategic in the way you approach this thing. You have to have a spiritual foundation as well. And you have to also face those demons of the past, brothers and sisters. I'm very strong on being raw and real on my channel. And there's a lot of people that don't want to talk about those hard subjects. And you wonder why people are still bound by addiction, bound by sugar, bound by different things. Is because a lot of times they don't want to talk about how little Ray disrespected them on the playground, and they are scarred by that, which led to them needing a pacifier and some sort of comfort. So they went down a little bodega and they found that them chips or that cake was a comfort at that time. Sometimes some people can enable you. Sometimes people can love you to death.